right, Carlita, are you ready for today's 5-minute tidbit with this 50-pound dog?
Yeah, for sure.
All right, so we began this, I guess, deviation from our normal 2-hour dichotomy or dissertations live. So we decided to do some 5-minute tidbits as we prepare for this snowstorm in southern Alabama tomorrow. Anyway, so the subject at hand today for this 2-minute or 5-minute tidbit is 2. A, we know that Djokovic is playing Alcaraz this evening, or at the wee hours in the morning. I think it'll be like, 3 a.m.?
3 in the morning for us.
When it starts for us. And as well, the second subject matter at hand, the predictions thereof of that match. And B, are what are some things that make or break a tennis player like in development? Like if you're a junior player or you're an adult player or you're a beginner or you're just trying to learn tennis, what are some things that you need to understand or you need to I guess get associated with so you don't get frustrated early on? All right? So let's start with the first things first. Let's go ahead and start with the Djokovic-Alcaraz match. So I'm going to shut up and pet my beautiful Katana here. She's an old girl. And then Carla, let me hear your predictions on the Alcaraz-Djokovic match.
I guess I want to watch it because I want to see if Alcaraz can beat him where he has dominated for a very, very long time, right?
How many Australians did he won?
I don't know. How many? 10?
Like 9 or 10?
Yeah, 9 or 10. So I'm just interested to see, here we have Djokovic, who's now older. Murray's a coach. Alcaraz looks stronger, by the way. He looks like he's been lifting a lot of weights. Like, remember when Nadal looked like at the U.S. Open many, many years ago? He came out black.
That was 2010. And do you remember in 2010 he came up? He looked like Darth Vader on steroids. And I think
that's how Alcaraz looks like.
And a lot of people, I think, at that same point in time, a Spanish physician, no names being named, was being implicated by Spanish players doping. And then I think, if I remember correctly, I think in that 2010, 2011 time frame, Nadal, once this came to light, took a little break.
He did.
Took a little break there.
Well, I feel like Alcaraz, he kind of looks, he's big, he looks bigger. He looks like he's been lifting a lot of weight. So I'm just curious to see if Alcaraz can pull the upset. It seems like Djokovic is playing decent, like he always plays. He's had some controversy with one of the reporters. I don't blame him for that. I did listen to the interview why he did not want to give an interview after he won his last match. I thought good for him.
The problem with this Australian Open, for me personally, is I know that Jannik Sinner. No disrespect to Jannik, but how many players have lost their careers because of a positive doping test? And this guy's like, the limelight. I mean, anyway, I'll leave it at that. This isn't about positive doping tests, and I feel like there's an asterisk. There was an asterisk during the U.S. Open when Djokovic accidentally hit a ball lady in the throat and didn't win it. There was an asterisk at Wimbledon when they wouldn't let him in, right? There's a lot of asterisks on a lot of things, and a lot of those asterisks had to do with Djokovic, to tell you the truth, and only Djokovic, to tell you the truth. Let's go, Djokovic. Let's go, Serbia. I hope he wipes the court with Alcaraz. But look, Alcaraz is much younger. He's much stronger. He's much better. I don't mean to make some conspiracy theory about doping, but I do want to make one thing very, very clear. The thought of Jannik Sinner just smiling that nothing happened when the likes of Halep and thousands of other athletes across multiple sports, careers are ruined because of such tests. I ask you to look at yourself in the mirror, Australian Open, because that's pretty shitty. ITF, ATP, whatever, WTA, you fucked up Halep. I mean, what are you going to do with Sinner? Whatever. Okay, let's go Djokovic. Who you got?
I'm going to give it to Djokovic. I mean, it's tough to beat him at the Australian Open. I guess I'm just hoping for an exciting match. I'm not going to wake up at 3 in the morning, but he wakes up at 4 something, so I guess I'll watch it, and it'll probably be a 7.5 or 2 maybe when I get to watch it.
I get up at 0400 anyway, but look. All I know is that if Alcaraz is jacked up on performance enhancing cream,
I don't think he is. I mean,
I don't
that's
know.
how you should look at that age, anyways. You don't remember when we were young, we were super built. You lifted weights and your muscles popped out even more. So I think that's normal for a teenager or 20-something-year-old. Don't you think?
All right, next topic. Let's go, Djokovic. Alcaraz, I don't like it. You make too much noise. You're not humble. Shut up. Time for someone else to not someone else. Time for the old to continue to bash the new. All right, okay, Carla, this is one that I'm passionate about. what are 5 things, or forget about that, what is the endless list of things that a young player, an adult player, any player should learn when trying to figure out this game, and when they see it on television, like, oh my gosh, I want to play this game, it looks so easy, and then they go to take their first lesson, they're like, oh, and in like 5 minutes they're just throwing the racket and they just don't want to be there. What are things that you tell them as a coach to get through this beginning stage?
I would say it could be a junior or an adult, it is very important. Number one, patience. Patience is number one. If you're not patient, you're not going to get this sport. Number two, as an adult, I would say don't try to, especially if we meet a lot of adults that never exercise, right? And they go out there and they get excited and they start running and
This just happened.
they get hurt. So if you're not an athlete or have never done a sport, the last thing you want to go there
Just
is
go
go
slow.
right.
Just go
Go slow and steady. And until you get used to the body movement, because tennis is not like running or going to lift weights. We're using muscles that we've never used before. You know, you're moving side to side.
Fast twitch.
You're not using your heels. You're on your toes more.
Stabilization, yaw,
balance.
pitch, roll.
Right.
You know, the whole aircraft thing, yaw, pitch, roll. You know, this whole thing with the Achilles and the ITBs and all this stuff come into play.
Right. I would say that to the adults. The kids, you know, they adjust. The juniors adjust to that. You don't really have to tell them. But with the juniors, I feel like a lot of times they feel like they can do it just because they watched it on TV. Like they want to whack the ball. It's not about whacking the ball. It's about getting the right technique. So a lot of them, they just want to go hit. And it's not about that. It's about learning the right technique, understanding the grips. So I would tell juniors, study. Because a lot of them don't want to study. They don't even want to know why there's 8 sides to a grip.
Yeah, they just want to hit their smartphone button.
Right. They don't even want to know. You know, I've been getting a lot of young students, so have you. And you know, you explain to them the grips, the numbers, the shape of the grip, why your hand has to. They don't want to do that. They just want to hit.
Okay, but I do feel that one thing that's different when you and I meet these people, we give them a hard time and tell them you're gonna learn, or you ain't, or we ain't for you.
Right, correct.
Like there's never a time where I have a beginner student, male, female, young, old, doesn't matter, whatever age, it's just a number. There's never a time where I have a beginner in front of me where I'm not talking about the octopus. And I won't get into the octopus right now, but I'm always talking about the octopus, because if we don't know our product, how in the hell can we sell it?
Right.
Like how can I just pitch my product to the world if I don't know? And if I'm not passionate about it and I don't truly know why I'm doing what I'm doing, then how can I create a champion? And one thing we passionately try to do is to create champions of life, not just tennis, academics, college, etc. And family members and caring people and people that are kind to everyone, because everyone's fighting a tough battle, correct? Okay, let me tell mention a few things that I feel that is inherent a tennis player.
Mm-hmm.
If any one of you sat down and learned, or did not learn, excuse me, if anyone of you sat down and I gave you a book, and the book was the Spanish language, and I said, here you go. Here you have this textbook. I want you to read this book, and in 1 hour, after this 1 hour lesson, I want you to come and speak this whole language to me fluently. It ain't gonna happen. I took Spanish for 4 years at the University of South Alabama. All I know is gringo, basarde, what she yells it to me every day. I didn't practice it, so I forgot.
What?
Right?
Okay.
Anyway, so what I would like to relay is that tennis is like learning a language. And my mother would always say tennis is like an international language. You go to Greenland, as we've heard about, because of political reasons. I'm sure there's a tennis court there. I don't know about Antarctica. Is there a tennis court in Antarctica? But you go to Africa, Asia, and everywhere in between, there's a tennis court. Right? Mm-hmm. There's a tennis court. There's a bunch of different languages at these tennis courts. Tennis is generally a community. And it doesn't matter if you're in Asia Minor or in New Zealand. Tennis players are generally tennis players. And to get through the beginner stage, you need to have a couple of things. Patience. Okay, good direction, mind you. God bless all the teachers. Right? And we need to understand that it's not something that we learn in a week or a day, or as we, download our video game, we master it and beat it in 7 minutes. This isn't how it works. It's something that takes learning, attention, practice and frustrations and ups and downs, kind of like life, right? So I would say, sorry for going all over the place, but I would say that tennis is very much like learning a language. Mm-hmm. If you want to be fluent in Spanish, what do you do? If you want to be fluent in Russian, what do? You want to be fluent in Mandarin Chinese? what do? If you want to be great at tennis, then that's what you do, right?
Correct.
Okay, so moving forward, what are some things that you all would think that make or break a tennis player? I think sportsmanship, I think footwork, I think humility.
Mental. And no, not for juniors, the biggest thing is having a support system around you. I think that a lot of just going to junior tournaments, a lot of the parents are yelling at their kids or telling them what to do in a match. I think that's important to have a good support system.
There was a tournament recently. We were, and there was a couple of girls that came from I don't know where, I don't quite remember, but I know they were in finals, and I don't know if they were fathers or coaches or whatever, but they're playing and they don't realize that they're matched up against really good mirror lake players. Like they're from somewhere else, but they think anyway. There was a lot of good finals we had recently, and I think what demised the competitors that came from afar is that every point they were going, vamos, let's go, and the guys were gringos. So when you have real Spanish players on the court and you got gringos saying let's go, vamos, especially with
I just
it's like it pisses them off.
I just think too that
it's like their players lost because white boys saying vamos and gringo.
Well, I just think that
stupid, man.
I think that
be a white boy. Don't act Spanish.
No. I think Americans are too influenced by
stupid.
By foreign.
You got some.
Like my students ask me to say vamos, and I'm like, I can't say it.
Dude,
I'm like, I'm sorry. I've never done that.
The funniest thing is you get some 300-pound pumpernickel doughboy, and he's like vamos. I'm like, even trying to throw the B Spanish influence vamos. He's like vamos. And like, dude, you're a gringo. Like,
well, there's nothing wrong with somebody saying.
It's just overkill, and our kids
you,
are Spanish, and that pisses them off.
Well, you say,
and they don't get it. Understand it. If you want to beat our kids, stop saying vamos, being the gringo, because they don't like it.
We're getting off topic here.
It's true though.
But again, I think that, and I hear "come on" too from Americans.
Well, stick with "come on."
No, but the thing is that it is said too much. You say it when
waters it down.
Waters it down. I think we had some adults watching the junior tournament, and they were like, "Why do these kids say come on for every shot?"
So stupid.
It's like it almost takes away the glory of the come on. You know, that when you say come on, or when you watch
wars,
you know, when somebody a gladiator, they were like, "Whoa!"
And then
because they just won a battle that was tough. Well, the come on is in any language that you say is because you won a point that maybe it was difficult, and you and your opponent fought to the end, and you finally earned it. And that's when the come on or vamos or whatever you say should be said. But I think that juniors or coaches teach it way too much to say it at every point.
Hey, I wish better was still playing. Let's go Fed Express. Anyway, but yeah, you're totally right. Anyway, leaving the subject at hand here. Sorry, we went above 5. We love you a lot. We'll see you.
Oh, wait, let's go Collins. I did like what she did to the Australian Open crowd.
Yeah, she silenced them.
She's spicy.
I think Danielle Collins lost the first set, and they started.
Yeah, she lost to Keys, who beat Rybakina. Good for her too.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Osaka. Good luck in the next one.
All right, carry this on in comments, and if there's anyone out there that has another 5-minute 5K. What is it? Anyway, you get it. If you've been around for all these years, then let us know a topic you want us to hound in on for a minute. And who do you think is going to win, Djokovic or Alcaraz? And is it going to be guy that sounds like he's getting his balls chopped off, or is it going to be a vintage statesman from Serbia? Let's go, vintage statesman from Serbia.
All right.
Adios, muchachos.